Welcome to Wanderlust Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Crystal.
As travel agents with Fantastical Vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 104 of Wanderlust Wishes. Today, we're going to talk about the little things or kind of the little mistakes or things that people don't really know before they go to Magic Kingdom for the first time. It's often little things that make the biggest difference in how smooth your day goes. Not major strategies, which we talk about those as well, but major strategies like rope drop or lightning lane. Yes, those are important, but there's also small things that no one really thinks to mention, or maybe they've been to the park so many times that they just don't even think about it. They don't realize it. These are the kinds of things that come up, maybe casually in a phone call or something that you're just chatting, you're having a conversation, or something that you unfortunately figure it out on your own while you're halfway through your first trip. And you're thinking, I wish I'd known that earlier. And those are the things we want to talk about today.
So these are not huge trip-defining secrets on their own, and you might have heard some of these before. You might think that some of them feel almost silly to even be mentioning, but when you put them all together, they can change the flow of your day and make your vacation feel a lot easier. So today we're going to start a new series. We're going to start with Magic Kingdom that's geared toward beginners or first timers, even second timers who are still learning the ropes. But I think there's probably something in here that even if you've been to Disney a dozen times, there's a good chance you'd still pick up something new.
Yeah, I think honestly, whenever sometimes we'll do engagement posts in our Facebook group for our agency, and we'll ask questions like this just to get people's thoughts. And there's pretty much every single time there's something that gets posted that I had no idea. I was like, I didn't know that, so these can definitely help even somebody that's a little bit more seasoned.
So we're going to start with before you even enter the park. And we just came up with the most random assortment of bullet points, tips, and we're going to kind of ping pong back and forth. And I'm sure we have something to say or a story to go along with it. So let's dive in. You want to start us off?
Something that a ton of people don't realize before you go, they make the assumption that you cannot bring your own food into the park, which is absolutely wrong. You can bring your own food and drinks into Magic Kingdom. Some people will utilize either bringing groceries with them if you're driving, and you can bring some stuff that's easy to carry, or they will plan a grocery delivery to the resort, because you can also do that. And things like, if you're just trying to save money, or if you're just trying to we've talked about before, just keeping people from getting hangry in the park and having snacks with you, which is always a good idea. You can bring pretty much whatever you want. The only thing they ask you not to bring is ice in a cooler and glass bottles.
And alcohol, of course.
Oh, yes, and alcohol.
So on the topic of loose ice, you can freeze water bottles halfway so that they will stay cold longer. But just like with TSA, if your water is frozen, you can get it in. Just make sure it's not little loose ice chunks.
Portable chargers are really not optional at this point. Even if you try really hard to not use your phone will probably be dead by mid-morning to maybe lunchtime, depending on how new your phone is and how great it holds a charge. But even if you're not using your phone a ton, because when there's that many people all hitting the cell signal, it's just hard on your phone, and it's going to drain your battery.
Did you see that they updated the fuel rods in the parks? Or they're starting to? And now they're fuel bricks?
No.
So they can give your phone a full charge instead of
just a little tiny one.
Off one.
Nice.
So they have little fuel rod things around the parks, or you can bring your own. All right. This one I feel like we touched big on in a recent toddler episode, but security will go much faster if you aren't carrying a giant overstuffed bag take all your metal items out, put them visible in your stroller out of the bag, send someone through. The stroller does not go through the metal detector, so you can put your Stanleys and your eyeglass case and your welly case and all those little things that are going to make it go off visible in your stroller. If you do not have a stroller, I do this with my camera when we're on solo trips. I will hold it out in front of me so they can see that it is my camera, and then they just wave me on through. So portable chargers are another one, eyeglass, your cases, like if you have a chunk of pens like in a bag together, that will make it go off. So yeah, either put it in your stroller or just hold it out in front of you, and then you avoid getting pulled. If you get pulled, sometimes in the mornings, it'll take 30 minutes and they go through every zip, every pouch.
It's so frustrating. I mean, they're just doing their job, and, I don't begrudge them at all, but it is absolutely so frustrating when you get stopped.
Yes, especially when you like are doing the plan and then you get pulled. Sometimes it's just
Yeah. So kind of
my power.
yeah, it's super frustrating. So kind of rolling into that, rope drop. So if you're there for rope drop and you get stopped, that's very frustrating because you're trying to get there early. But rope dropping and early entry, if you are on property, I know we talk about this a lot, but they are absolutely worth it to get in. You get so much more done whenever you're there for rope drop and you're there for early entry if you're eligible for it.
Most people underestimate how exhausting Magic Kingdom is and how large it is, and will find themselves crisscrossing the parks, putting reservations or lightning lanes too close together, having a breakfast on one side of the park and a lightning lane 10 minutes later across the other end. Just spread it out because it takes a lot longer than you may anticipate.
Yeah, definitely try not to stack too much on top of each other. And also, if you are planning your day, try to plan your day in the different sections of the park so that you're not crisscrossing it as much as possible. Sometimes it's really hard to do that based on wait times or based on what you're trying to do. But if you're able to do as much as you can in Tomorrowland and then move over to Fantasyland and then just keep kind of moving around, that makes your life a lot less stressful. And a lot less steps. Midday breaks can definitely save your sanity and your families or your whatever group that you're traveling with, their sanity. It doesn't have to be at a specific time. Everybody's kind of schedule throughout the day is a little bit different, but basically just making sure that you do take a break, take the time to sit and just, even if you don't get a snack, I think getting a snack from Magic Kingdom makes the break even better, but sitting down and just taking a moment to just breathe and rest your legs and give everybody a second to take a breath. This can be a meal. It doesn't have to be, like I said, you could go back to the resort if you want to, depending on where your resort is. You do need to think through that because it can take forever to go and then come back. But making sure you have some kind of break or multiple breaks throughout the day is really important.
Along those same lines, you can, maybe just people just don't realize you can leave and come back. It's not like a pro sporting event. Like once you're in, you're in. You can go to like the Contemporary or the Polynesian, even Grand Floridian Resort right there on the monorail for your midday break. Even if you aren't staying there, you can visit. They often have the better lunch and dinner options than Magic Kingdom. So if you're staying off property or maybe in like the All Stars or Animal Kingdom where you're like a long ways away, this is a great little reprieve from the chaos of people of the park.
Yeah, they have pulled pork nachos at the Polynesian at their quick service. Another one that we like to do, it takes a little bit longer, but we love to go over to Wilderness Lodge to like ride the boat in the middle of the day, just go over there for a little bit in the afternoon. And even if we don't have dining reservations, just sitting in the lobby and doing nothing sometimes is just the best because it's got such a great lobby. So it's definitely something that we like to do.
The Contemporary has the convention space. There are so many like quiet hallways and corners where you can go and wander for 10 minutes and not see a single soul. So
Yeah.
if you really need like some just like very quiet time, you
Right.
find a bench or a couch and just zone out.
Yeah, that's true. I forget about that. I forget that the Contemporary has that space.
Yeah, when I was down there for the earmark, like we'd go out and take a break and I would just like kind of wander and I was like, there's no one here. And we were there in a conference room, but if they're not having something in the conference room, that whole wing is quiet.
Because Magic Kingdom has the most attractions compared to the other parks, just winging it there works less than maybe some of the other parks where you could maybe get away with it a little bit at the other parks. It's harder to do that if you really want to experience a lot of attractions and a lot of rides. You need to have at least some kind of plan in place and know what's there because Crystal was mentioning earlier, there's a lot of stuff there. It's not the biggest park, but it is definitely probably the one that's packed the most full in the space that it has. So there's tons to do. If you don't have a good idea of where everything is, you're going to end up exhausting yourself as well.
We touched on this briefly for our rope drop episode. Magic Kingdom has 2 opening times. If you were there for early entry, half the park is not open yet.
Yeah, that's very sneaky. And a lot of people for sure don't know that. They don't realize that it's just Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. I'm pretty sure we made that mistake at one point. We were going to run over to, it was still Splash Mountain at the time, so that's how long ago it was. And I was like, sorry, you can't go over there yet. I'm like, what? And if you do that, then you just wasted time that you could have run to another ride in Fantasyland or Tomorrowland. And now you've got to like rethink what you're doing. Getting there and just transportation in general. The ferry or the boats, they are calmer and often less stressful than the monorail. I feel like even whenever the boat is full, you still don't feel claustrophobic like you do on the monorail. The monorail can definitely feel claustrophobic. If you have people really like shoving in there, especially if you have multiple people with strollers and everybody's just trying to fit in this small space, it is a lot more relaxing to be on one of the boats.
Often, transportation lines look terrifying at night, but they can move shockingly fast. They are pros at getting people in and out, especially right at the fireworks times when there's a mass exodus.
Even in the mornings, the Skyliner lines, if you're staying at Pop Century and Art of Animation, they look pretty terrifying. They're pretty long, but They go by really quickly. The parking lot at Magic Kingdom is definitely the worst of all the parks. It's very far away. A lot of people don't realize that when you park for Magic Kingdom, you're parking at the Ticket and Transportation Center, also called the TTC, and you're not actually parking at the park, at the front of the park. You park at that Ticketing and Transportation Center, and then you have to get on the monorail or the ferry to go across to get to Magic Kingdom before you can get into the park. And a lot of times, depending on how crowded it is, you have to take one of the little trams from the parking lot up to the Ticket and Transportation Center. It's a lot more involved than you probably realize.
Yeah, if you're staying at a resort, just take the bus. And because the bus will drop off right at the front of Magic Kingdom gates, right before you go in through security. And also, minivans, we love minivans, they drop off with the buses. If you want to take an Uber or a Lyft and think you're going to get around it, you will not. They drop off at the Ticket and Transportation Center as well.
There are walking paths between Magic Kingdom and the Contemporary is the closest. There's also a walking path now that goes to the Grand Floridian. It's a lot longer than the Contemporary, but you can still walk. You can walk if you want. And the Contemporary has its own security line. So you walk through that security line and you don't have to walk through the other main one. You're done. You just go straight in to get into the parks.
There are 2 different monorail lines. There's the express monorail and there's the resort monorail. So sometimes at the end of the night, the resort monorail will be quicker than the express monorail. It closes. Everybody thinks that the express means fast, but because everybody is on it, it might be best just to take the resort and go through all the resort stops.
The park does not close directly after fireworks. A lot of people think that it does, and you will absolutely see a mass exodus. So if you're following the crowds because you think everybody knows and they're all leaving because the park is closing, just hang tight. You can hang out for a little bit longer, even if you're ready to go. If you hang back for like maybe 15 or 20 minutes, you just sit and wait for the crowd to disperse. And then you will probably end up getting back to your resort at the same time that you would have if you had walked with the crowd. Because there's so many people, or it wouldn't be a whole lot different.
Now let's talk entering the park and about some shortcuts. Everybody gets in the habit of, as soon as they scan in and get through security, they just stop. And it creates such a traffic jam. So get familiar with a map before you go, and don't wait until after you scan in to figure out where you're going first. Just get underneath the train and get in before you just halt.
Don't stop there either, because people stop in the middle of like right there
Under the
too.
train, and then turn left and kind of, or like, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Get off the road. Get
off of Main Street.
Yes.
Get out of the way. No, that's so funny. And also, just to note, we talked about going through security, but just to bring that back for just a second, I actually had some feedback from clients recently, and this is something that I didn't think to mention to them because I don't think about it because I go so often. So now I'm going to actually use it, and I'm going to add it into my information that I provide to people. The first time you go into the park, you have to scan your Magic Band or your phone or whatever it is that you're using, and you also have to scan your finger at the same time. And sometimes that can be a little hard for littles, and if they have grimy fingers or they don't understand what they're doing, and they don't, sometimes too, like they don't scan the same finger when they do it the second time. So just kind of be prepared for that like, don't get impatient. It's fine. It's not a big deal. They'll figure it out. They'll get you in there. It doesn't mean that you can't get into the parks. It's just something that you have to remember to be prepared for, that you do have to scan your Magic Band and your finger simultaneously to get in.
I can't believe I forgot all about this. You can use your own finger as a parent. So I will use my fingers with the kids, or if John's pushing the stroller, I like make him do like Calder or someone. Like, we girls with the girls and boys with the boys, and use our finger with their Magic Band so that they can get in. But you just got to make sure that, like, if for some reason Grandpa's there and taking them, that his finger is with the kid that he's going to get in every single day.
Right. Regardless of whether you are there for early entry or regular park opening, people are on Main Street. They let people through because for early park entry, you have to scan in at the areas where they let you through. So they let everybody through onto Main Street once they start letting people in. And everybody bottlenecks basically down Main Street and at the castle. So just be prepared for that. That doesn't mean that they're in line for something. So if you're there for early park entry, keep going. Keep going to either Tomorrowland area or back towards Fantasyland. Don't stop there because some of those people are just milling about.
These are two that kind of go hand in hand. The tunnels under the train station, the left side, when you're coming in from the gates and scanning in, are often less crowded. So go left. And just naturally, people will go right. So whenever you have a path that splits into two, take the left side because it's usually emptier. When you're scanning in, the far left side is usually where they send the strollers because it's closer to the security where they pull. It's just kind of like natural straight line to go from the left side of security through the right tunnel. And so it's just like a beeline.
The Emporium, it connects pretty much the entire length of Main Street. So if you are trying to get around parade traffic or crazy crowds or even get out of the rain and just, for the length of of Main Street, you can go into the Emporium and walk all the way through it and get to the other side. So That's nice. We definitely use it a lot to get around crowds because people mill about on Main Street and they just stand there and don't do anything. They just stand there. They don't move. It's a good path to take that.
If you have a big stroller, you're going to be weaving around everybody and you're going to get frustrated. So just be prepared. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's usually quicker than weaving around people in the street.
And it has air conditioning, which is nice.
Next on our list, there are side paths in like Adventureland before you go across the bridge that can help bypass the hub congestion. Like from, what's the waffle shop?
It's Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, so there's like Crystal Palace. There's like a bridge across to the Crystal Palace bridge to the egg roll cart. There's another one from like the Sleepy Hollow waffles to the back of the castle, back by like Bippity Boppity Boutique. And you can kind of bypass all of the hub.
You get around all of that. Another fun one is in Tomorrowland, there's a path that's like basically behind where Tron is. It goes all the way back to the circus area where the Barnstormer is. A lot of people don't know about that. And it's actually where the train is. Like the train goes back through there. And it's a great spot to get around Tomorrowland crowds and to cut through.
I love that one. And we use it a lot during Rider Switch.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just a good spot. Even like you were saying, like just to get away from people, if you just need a break, to just be back in there because there's usually not a lot of people back there.
So basically look at a map and study and learn all the back and side pathways through the park so you do not have to walk through the most congested areas.
Okay, so let's move on to food and drink things that you may not know going into it. First on the list is that you can get free water or ice water at any of the quick service locations. So you can just go in, whether it is a actual like quick service restaurant or kind of a standalone type place, you can go in and ask for water, and they'll give you water. Specifically at Magic Kingdom, Casey's Corner often has a table sitting outside with self-service. So they just put out pictures of ice water and you can pour yourself a cup, which is makes it extremely easy. So you don't have to worry about going and asking for one. It's just there.
I guess we should probably mention that they're doing so much better about putting water bottle refill stations in their drinking fountains, and you can now search for them in the app. So if you have a water bottle, look those up because I know there are a couple around Magic Kingdom. All right, mobile ordering. We have a couple here for mobile ordering. Basically, it saves so much time, and you can order food earlier than you think you need to. I'd like to do it on our way to the parks in the morning if there's something really specific that I know I want, like sitting on the Skyliner ordering tachos for Hollywood Studios days. I'll order it for a couple hours later. It doesn't have to be immediate. This helps you make sure you get the time you want, which is kind of hard to pick sometimes, but you can at least kind of pick your window there. Along the same lines, you can hit I'm here while you're walking there. You don't have to be physically in front of the window to hit the little button. I like to do it as soon as the little button pops up. Even if I'm 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away, I'd rather them be making my food and gamble on the fact that it's going to be a minute or two cold than to be there for 20 minutes waiting for them to be preparing my food.
I'm waiting for them to use GPS and not let you do it until you're actually like within a certain range. I'm waiting for them to start doing that.
There are so many times that I've been in groups that they're like, anybody who's in Magic Kingdom today, go pick up a coffee on me. It's ready at window 1 because those like sent mobile orders. Yeah, that'll be a sad day.
It would be. I definitely use this. Kids' meals are often plenty enough food for adults. If you're ordering in a table service restaurant, you're going to have to order as an adult because that's just the way it works. But if you're ordering quick service, you can order whatever you want. Like it's not limited to if you as an adult want to order a quick service child meal, then that's totally fine. I do it all the time.
And then you have a little, usually like a cutie or something for later.
Yes. And most of the time I do like get whatever, like a soft drink or something. But every once in a while, I'll get like a chocolate milk or something because that's the that you can get one with a kid's meal, and you don't get that option as an adult. So I'm like, I'm going to get a chocolate milk this time.
Sometimes you need that little boost of sugar.
Right.
If you go to Columbia Harbor House, there's an upstairs. You can take your food up. It's often quiet. You can sit and enjoy your food. You can look out the window.
Yeah, there's no one up there.
Ever, yeah. Another one is you can write little messages on the boards at Pinocchio's Village House, and you can sit and watch the Small World boats go by.
Yeah, you can watch through the window. And usually people wave at you. People that are on the ride will wave at you. Columbia Harbor House was where, during COVID, that they did, there's so much space up there. They used it as like the line for Peter Pan. Did you ever go? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They use that whole space because, Peter Pan is such a, like, it always has such crazy weights, and somehow it connects in over at some point to Peter Pan. But yeah, they used that space or that restaurant so that the line was like spread out. Yeah. I don't think I'd ever realized how much space was in there until, but of course they had all the tables put away and all of that stuff because it wasn't open. It was being used for that purpose only. Cosmic Rays. If you guys have listened to us for a while, we give Cosmic Rays a really hard time, but it always has plenty of seating. It has tons of seating indoors and also has outside seating, which is also nice if you'd rather sit outside. But if you'd rather go inside and sit in the AC, they almost always have enough seating just because it's a really large space.
And somehow Cosmic Rays always becomes my pass through. When I'm trying to get to the other side, I just walk through. Sleepy Hollow waffles. They're like a Magic Kingdom rite of passage. They tried to change them, and they heard the cries of everybody, and they've mostly changed them back. They're not 100% the original, but they're close. They have like a chicken savory option, and then they have your sweet Nutella berries option, and they are delicious.
I don't understand why they take stuff like that away. It drives me crazy. I think they do it on purpose to like make people bananas, and then they come back to it, and then they bring it back, and everybody's like, yay. The spring rolls in Adventureland have a cult following. That is 100% true. It's just a little spring roll cart as you're basically walking into, or it's right before you go into Adventureland, like underneath there's like the big Adventureland sign. It's right before that on the right. And yeah, there are people that do not feel like their Magic Kingdom day is complete unless they have one. And they do rotate them through. So they have like the classic option, but they also rotate through different flavors. And so you don't always have the same thing every single time if you want to do something different.
They usually have two options, and you get like two spring rolls. I want to say mostly it's like pepperoni and cheeseburger.
I was going to say, isn't cheeseburger the cheeseburger one is the kind of the staple, I think, that they have pretty much all the time. And then they switch out stuff.
But I know they've done like a Philly cheesesteak option before, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that line always looks deceivingly long too, but it goes really quick because they're usually pre-cooked, and they're just taking them out of a warmer and serving them.
Yeah, giving them. It's like a line for popcorn. Like it goes fast.
Another one that is underrated is the Cheshire Cat Tail.
That is over next to the teacups. So don't get one before you go on the teacups, or just don't go on the teacups at all. But just FYI, you may not ever want to experience one again if you eat one before you get on the teacups. Dole Whip, I think it's just because it's the soft serve like texture of it. It melts immediately. So if you eat ice cream or anything like that slowly, you're going to have it all over you. Or you just need to get it in a cup. Like, don't get a cone. Absolutely get a cup.
Speaking of Dole Whips, you cannot mobile order at the OG location.
You used to be able to, and I don't know why they took it away.
Only Sunshine Tree Terrace. So there's a little bit of crossover, but they have different menus. So look in the menus before you decide which line you're getting in and where you're going to order.
They have coconut at Aloha Isle, and that's where, like, I have to go to that one. That's the one I want.
Yes, same. I wait in line. It's usually not terrible line. It's a
No,
lot longer than it is.
no. And I think they have a cast member that's basically like telling you which person to go to next, like directing traffic with the line. So it goes by really fast. It's not a long line, or it's not a long wait.
When they have like 10 checkout stands. So
Right.
churro Mickey waffles are a thing. If you've ever cruised on Disney Cruise Line or follow someone who has cruised on Disney Cruise Line, they've probably shown pictures of them. They are amazing. The only place you can get them at Walt Disney World is during breakfast at Crystal Palace.
They're so good.
So good. And this is where you can have breakfast with Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore and Piglet. You do need an advanced dining reservation. It's worth it.
Yeah, I would say, like, I think especially recently, like there's been restaurants that will have availability same day or close to like same day, but I think this one, especially for breakfast, stays pretty much busy all the time. Also, just as an FYI, especially if you happen to have a reservation and you decide you don't want to go, you can cancel up to 2 hours prior without a penalty. And that also means, though, that you may want to start looking for last minute reservations that pop up in that same window, because people may start canceling because they realize that they don't want to go and they need to cancel, or maybe they can't go, or for whatever reason they just cancel it within around that 2 hour window. If you start looking, then you might be able to grab something.
There's a no quick service alcohol situation at Magic Kingdom. This was something Walt wanted to do at Disneyland, and they've carried it on. And you can get it at sit down dining, or you can get a reservation at the Beacon Barrel. They're very strict about your like time limit there, and you can get alcohol there, but you can't take it and walk or find it at quick service like you can at Epcot. So just be aware of that.
Okay, let's move into rides and lightning lane strategy. Wait times are often inflated. Some of the rides, like Haunted Mansion and Mine Train, they will have like a special number. So for the Haunted Mansion, it's 13, and for Mine Train, it's 7. That means that it's walk on. Most others are going to show a 5-minute wait for walk on. Like you're never going to see 0. It's not ever going to say that. So if you see 5 minutes, then you should be good to go.
You can ride rides during fireworks, and often that last hour or two after fireworks is such an elite time to ride because everybody has done their mass exodus of the park. So oftentimes waits are lower. The wait times will probably be inflated because the workers are wanting to get out of there, and it will inflate sometimes. Don't always believe them the last hour of the night.
If it is not a priority for you to see fireworks, or if you don't see them, it's not that big of a deal. Going on a ride during fireworks is a fantastic time because the crowd is gathered in front of the castle and not focused on going on attractions. So you can take advantage of that and get in probably a couple of rides.
As long as you are in line 1 minute before the park closes, they will honor it and let you ride the ride. You might still have an hour wait, but they will honor that you were in line before park close. So it's a good time to hop in that last minute, last second ride for the night.
Fantasyland, as we've talked about Fantasyland a lot in the last, I feel like recently, because we've talked about rope dropping. Yeah, we've talked about rope drop a lot. It is better first thing in the morning, so rope drop Fantasyland and get in those rides early, or wait until later, like during fireworks or close to park close. It is crazy busy in that area in the middle of the day. Everything is like an hour wait at least. And I mean, and Peter Pan and Mine Train are usually 2-hour waits.
Speaking of another one that always has a long wait is Jungle Cruise, and it always feels 40 degrees hotter midday. Don't understand why, but something about that ride, you're just baking.
I think it's the vegetation, because it's so like there's just so much vegetation, and then it's like the water, and it's humid. Yeah, there is something about it that it feels kind of gross. And like when you go through the cave, even though the cave is like kind of cooler, it still feels just humid.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion are fantastic for midday cool down rides just because they're both inside and they both have AC. So it's great to get out of the sun on both of those rides.
My husband has deemed Carousel Progress his nap spot because of how strong the air conditioning is.
It is.
And it's dark and it's quiet and it's actually kind of long ride, show, whatever you want to call it. So that's another favorite mid-afternoon break at our house.
Yeah. Our Hall of Presidents is another one. It's so like dark and cozy in there.
We've tried the Tiki Room, but it is very loud and obnoxious. So,
Oh yeah, it's very loud.
but it is dark and quiet if you are in a pinch.
The People Mover is it's emotional support transportation. It just doesn't really do anything other than literally just take you around Tomorrowland. But it's just the best ride. I don't know why. I know like a lot of people don't get it, but it's such a great ride to just go and sit and relax for the whole time that you're on there.
Big Thunder Mountain, now that it's reopened,
Woohoo!
is a completely different ride at night. And if you can time it during the fireworks, it's even more magical. But if you like this ride and have never ridden it at night, you need to.
Also, Magic Carpets, which is not one that I typically recommend unless you have littles and it's just, it's basically Dumbo, but on a magic carpet. But it is kind of weirdly magical at night. There's something about it, riding it at night, and you can see the castle when you go high enough.
Thinking about it, how often are you in Adventureland at dark? I feel like this area is so deserted at night because it's not like a main drag unless you're going over to Pirates.
I think we ride Pirates a lot at night for some reason. I don't know why, but
It's just very quiet over there at night. Astro Orbiter. It's an interesting one. It does not have a lightning lane. You have to get on the elevator to get up there. It's just hard to get to. But it's not one that you can easily just like pass and tell your kids like, oh, we'll come back later, because you can see it from all over the park. So if that's the one that they want to ride, you need to just bite the bullet and do it early or do it at night. It's magical at night.
Yeah, it's a great one for during fireworks. If you're not terrified of heights, then it's terrifying up there.
You just can't easily hide it from your children. Be like, oh, we'll come back later, and then you never pass it.
Yeah, that's very true. But you do have to. So the elevator is not real big. So it's really awkward because you have to kind of squeeze in with people to get up there. So just FYI on that too. It's a little awkward. If you've never ridden Space Mountain, it can be pretty rough. If you follow any Disney people on social media, there's almost always some type of meme or reel out there about having a chiropractor assessment after getting off of Space Mountain. And also getting in and out of it. It's just, but it also depends on which track you get on, and you honestly don't have a ton of control over which side you get on. But the one track is a lot rougher, and honestly, it's not that great. It's boring. And then the other one is super fun, and it's more smooth. It's still rough, but it's not as rough as the other one.
The Barnstormer. I don't love this ride. It's a very quick, like 35, 45-second ride. The waits are always so freaking long.
It's also pretty rough. It's rough because it's made for little kids. And so when as an adult, you try to get in it, you're like, ooh.
And they can't go by themselves. And there is like a tiny height requirement. So like you can't take like a baby on it. Yeah, I avoid this one.
I don't know how, I mean, I'm short. I'm 5'2", like barely. And I feel like my knees are hitting the ride whenever I'm sitting in it. So I can't imagine like people that are taller that are trying to squeeze themselves in this ride. It's got to be painful. There are certain rides, a lot of the bigger coasters that are outside, that they're going to shut down whenever it's storming. They don't usually shut down if it's raining, but if there's lightning anywhere nearby, I think it's within like 30 minutes or something like that. I don't remember what the range is, but they will shut down pretty much all the rides unless they're indoor.
If your ride breaks down and you have a lightning lane for it, Disney usually will turn your lightning lane automatically in your app to a multi-experience pass. This is such an amazing little hidden gem. If you get one of these, you just need to be careful that you're not scanning into something too early because it will take the multi-experience pass over your regular one that you have designated, and it's a whole thing at guest services to get it back. Or if you buy a single pass for Tron, and Tron doesn't come up at all day until like 4 o'clock at night, they will honor it with this multi-experience pass or your single pass later on and kind of saves your bacon. Hang on to that. Just kind of keep an eye on them in the app. They're like gold.
I was going to say, it's like a golden ticket because you can use it on whatever you want. Like, you don't have to use it on the ride that you didn't get to experience. You can use it on whatever it is that you want to use it on. So speaking of lightning lanes, don't waste your lightning lanes on rides that have naturally low wait times. Try to, be strategic about how you use them. And I know sometimes you have to use it as a burner because you're trying to get another one and you've got to get one out of the way or something like that. But unless you're strategically using it for that purpose as a burner lightning lane, don't use it for that reason because you're just wasting your money.
I don't like to use them on shows either.
Yeah. Because honestly, with a show, because of how many people fit in those buildings or in those spaces, you're going to be on within probably 45 minutes anyway, like 30 to 45 minutes. And it doesn't matter if you have a lightning lane or not. You will probably be you'll be on the next show.
Another lightning lane tip is if you refresh the app, sometimes you can modify your lightning lane return time. Don't just quickly accept, make sure it's actually a different time. But people are always changing and modifying, so sometimes you can get a better time.
Yeah. Crystal did this with Tiana's when we were trying to get it the first time. We had a 1:30 or something, and she kept refreshing, and she got a 10:45 instead or something like that. Although it did break down. We ended up not being able to use it at 10:45, but we still were able to get it.
Yes.
And that was fun. The train is fantastic for both transportation, like going around the park, and as a rest break. So you get to sit down and just chill. For right now, just as an FYI, the train does not go all the way around the park because they're doing construction back where the Rivers of America is for the Piston Peak. So it doesn't go all the way around right now. If you're expecting that, then you're going to be disappointed. But you can use it from certain stations to another.
All right. If you listen to our toddler episode, this next section, some of these might sound like repeats, but they're good to just keep top of mind. So little kid survival tips. Your stroller will move. Just be prepared for it. They like to condense and they often get spread out. So they'll start kind of moving them around and reparking them. So put something that you can identify your stroller with, whether it's like a little flag or a little bandana or a balloon. Air tags are great. You can ping it and make a little dinging sound. 99% of the time, your stroller did not get stolen. It was just moved by a cast member.
Yeah, and if you have that identifying marker on it, there's 8 million black strollers all in the same space. So it makes a big difference to have that. Making sure that you have a change of clothes is huge with a toddler. You just don't know. You never know. I mean, and if you have a toddler, you kind of already know this. So you never know if they're going to have an accident. You don't know if they're going to spill something, if they're going to get wet, they're going to, whatever. There's so many different scenarios that could go down. And having a change of clothes for them will make your day so much easier so that you don't have to go back to your resort to change.
A lot of people do not realize there are little splash pad areas around the parks. Your kids will be magnets to them and they will just run through it. But if they are having an afternoon meltdown, maybe they're just overheated and they need to run through it. But also some other things that cause meltdowns. Hunger. Often you forget to eat while you're on vacation. You're out of your normal schedule. Overstimulation. There's a lot of things going on. Music, people, rides, characters that just lead to pure exhaustion. So go back and listen to our toddler version. There's little quiet corners we talk about, little rides, little hacks. But usually I hit that checklist and say, okay, what are we? Are we hot? Are we hungry? Are we exhausted? Are we overstimulated? What's going on?
Getting some glow toys from Target or Walmart or whatever before you go to save a little bit of money and have those when you're at the park at night. The kids don't know the difference. So they don't know that it's, $5 at Target and $30 at Walt Disney World. So if you get them beforehand, that helps a ton. Bubble wands, I hate them.
Me too.
I think everyone that doesn't have the bubble wand hates them because what happens is if your child has the bubble wand and they are having the time of their life and it is and precious, so glad they're having a great time, but they have their finger on the bubbles, hold it down, and all of those bubbles are going in someone else's face.
Worse is when they're in your stroller and you're pushing the stroller and it's just constant in the face.
They're everywhere. So they're very hard to avoid if you have kids. They're going to want one because they're right. I mean, what kid doesn't want a bubble wand?
If it stops working or breaks, you can take it back to a bubble wand location, same day, show them your receipt, and they will refill it or fix it or replace it for you. We talk about this a lot. It's my favorite. Rider switch. It is life-changing, and many first-timers don't even know it exists. So as a parent with little kids, you don't have to miss out on the ride as well. Or if you have a toddler and want to do the big roller coasters, you can still do them. You just meet with a cast member at the front. They do something with your little ticket. And then whoever is waiting with the little one will go back through the lightning lane later. You can do this if you have a lightning lane. You can do this if you do not have a lightning lane. Rider switch works for anybody who wants to use it. You both just need to be there at the time they set it up. One thing we like to do with rider switch is we pair a big ride with a small ride. So if my husband is on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train with the big kids, I'll take the little one to the teacups, and we are still having our own little experience and little time. Or I use it as like a reset, and I'll go change a diaper or get a snack or fix my stroller. But I'm not just like sitting there waiting for them to get off the ride. I'm still enjoying my day too.
There are a couple of rides that have really fun cues for kids. One of them is Dumbo. It has this whole playground inside the ride where your kids can play. I think it has like slides and swings and all kinds of different things. And like, what are they called? Like where they climb.
Jungle gym thing.
Jungle gym. Thank you. Yeah, they have this whole thing. Pooh has a fun little space for kids. Make sure you have after all of these, make sure you have your sanitary wipes with you because all the little kids are touching it. And then Peter Pan does as well.
Baby care centers. The Magic Kingdom Baby Care Center is at the end of Main Street, right as you get to the hub, the opposite side of Casey's Corner. It's kind of tucked around the corner, kind of by the plaza.
Yeah, on the other side of the plaza.
Yes, back in there. It's incredible. They have things you need. Take advantage of it.
Moving on to parade, fireworks, just overall entertainment. Fireworks look great from pretty much everywhere. In Magic Kingdom, you can actually even watch them from behind the castle. Like don't obsess so much over the perfect spot in front of the castle. There are definitely people that will sit there for hours to get a spot directly in front of the castle. If you are one of those people, more power to you. And if that's what makes you happy, that is fantastic. I just think that it's a waste of time whenever you can see them from pretty much anywhere, especially if you're down Main Street. Main Street has projections all the way down. So if you want to see the projections down Main Street and on the castle, then you could get a spot there. It's really just not anywhere in front of the castle, in the space that's in front of the castle. You're going to be able to see it. And then you can get a different perspective if you want to be behind the castle. And you can hear the music if you're behind the castle. You can't see the projections, but you can still hear the music and you can see the fireworks themselves. One of the benefits of watching the fireworks from Main Street, like not being like directly in front of the castle, but maybe being a little bit farther back, is if you do want to leave right after, it's a lot easier to get out because you're going to be in front of all of those other people that are standing in the hub section.
We did talk about this earlier, but ride waits are often shortest during fireworks. So take advantage if you don't care as much about the fireworks.
Frontierland and Adventureland are great spots to watch the parade. That's actually where we always watch the parade, from back there. We don't ever watch it on Main Street unless we just happen to be, for some reason, walking out or walking in that area and the parade comes through and we just weren't really paying attention. But if we want to find a spot to watch the parade, we always watch the parade from the back of the park.
Us too. That's where the parade starts. So our favorite thing to do is grab food or a Dole Whip and sit on, there's like rock benches behind Pecos Bills. And then we will eat and sit and watch the parade. And then we'll go hit a ride before the parade has even hit Main Street.
Mm-hmm. And Liberty Square actually has some decent spots. And they're actually, a lot of times they're shaded over there. So you can find a last minute spot in Liberty Square.
We talked about the little hidden bridges near the hub as kind of like pass-throughs, but after fireworks, because there's so many people in the hub, they're chaos. So just be prepared.
Yeah, they're definitely a bottleneck. If you've never been before and you're watching Happily Ever After, their spoiler, Tinkerbell comes down from the top of the castle. She flies, and it is extremely emotional for most people. It just is. There's just something about it for whatever reason whenever she flies down.
Random character sightings are often better than the formal meet and greets. Recently, with Cool Kids Summer, Minnie and Donald, Daisy and Goofy have been spotted on Dumbo early in the morning before they go to their meet and greet, and they'll just come out.
I love that.
I know. And this is one of the things I love about Disneyland so much more than Magic Kingdom is the characters just walking around. So that they've been doing this has just made my heart so happy.
I love whenever characters are spotted on rides. It's so fun.
I know it.
There is a scavenger hunt in Adventureland that you can go grab. It's right next to Pirates, the little building that's right next to Pirates. You can grab the scavenger hunt information, and I like the little booklet. When you do this, you can sometimes see Jack Sparrow, and it just leads to like kind of candid interactions with him that you weren't expecting. It's a fun like pixie dust when that happens.
He is one of the few at Magic Kingdom that just randomly walks around. And he's often in like these back quiet corners, not in the main drag. And the scavenger hunt is kind of in those quiet corners.
Mm-hmm.
So many of times have we run into him and he's just kind of back there and no one knows he's back there.
Well, and that's kind of his thing though, you know, like he's trying to fly under the radar. He's kind of that sneaky guy. So it's in line with his character.
Moving on to weather. Florida rain will come out of nowhere and usually passes quite quickly. So if it starts raining, don't just head for home. It usually scares all the people away, and it's usually, not always, just kind of like a little 10-minute rainstorm. So always be prepared, but stay and enjoy the parks.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously check your radar. If it looks like it's going to be raining for the next like 5 hours, then you're probably okay. If you don't want to sit there in the rain for 5 hours, then, you know, not everybody wants to do that. But there's a lot you can do when it's raining and take advantage of those lower wait times or just lower crowds when everybody leaves. Buy your ponchos before you go. Do not wait until you get to Disney because there is way more than there's probably over the summer, there's like 90% chance that it's going to rain at least one of the days that you're there. Probably have some kind of shower every day. Come with ponchos because ponchos on Amazon, you can get them for like $5. You're going to spend probably 20 or $25 at Disney for basically the same poncho. It just has Mickey on it.
To survive the heat, don't think you're going to look like a weirdo with the cooling towel or the neck fan. Everybody has one. They might even have multiple. And we're all doing what we can to survive August, September in the parks.
Yeah.
So all the things.
July
Yes.
July is horrible too. Make sure that you get a cover for your stroller. If you are using a travel agent and they rent a stroller for you, make sure that they get the stroller cover for you, the rain cover, because it is, I can't imagine having to be the child that has to sit in a wet stroller after it's rained, especially once the sun comes out and it gets hot again. It's got to be horrible.
Just be prepared that once it rains in Florida and then you go into a building to watch a show, you're going to freeze in the nice cold air conditioning. It happens every time.
We have this app, and actually, I think I told Crystal about it. I think she uses it now too.
Yep.
It's called My Radar, and you have to make sure that you have on like your location services and make sure that that it knows where you are. Like when you're in Florida, once you get to Florida, make sure that to the Orlando area, make sure that you kind of refresh your location, because it will tell you down to like the minute when it's going to start raining. And this has saved me so many times, because when it does start raining, everybody runs to get under cover. And if you know that it's going to rain like 10 minutes beforehand and you can go to a quick service that has a cover over it and find a seat and just get something to eat and like just sit there and have a spot, it's the best. While everybody else is like running around when it starts to rain, and you already have a spot and you have a snack and you're underneath an umbrella or underneath a cover and you're not getting wet, it's good times. Much better than being out in the rain.
It's crazy, scary, accurate. Just make sure your notifications are on so you can get that push notification that something is brewing in the distance. Over in the circus area, over by Dumbo, there's like big top souvenirs. There's like a meet and greet with some of the Fab Five. There's another tent next to it that has just like some random couches, but it's covered. And they have all these little charging ports, and no one is ever in there. So it's a great little place if it's raining or if it's hot to get away from crowds, recharge your phone if you have a cord. And it's a nice little hidden gem.
It's so random.
It is. Like, there's charging stations outside the Tangled bathrooms that people don't realize that there's like random logs that have like outlets in for that reason. But this one is just so, I don't know, it's just like they're trying to fill space and they're like, well, let's put some like thrifted couches over here and stick them here first.
But it's not advertised, so no one knows that it's there. It's very, very odd. So just a couple of tips for shopping and souvenirs. Keep your receipts. I think for the most part, like most things that you buy, you're probably, especially if you use the app, you'll have an electronic receipt for it. So you should be good. But make sure that you keep your receipts when you buy anything, just in case, because Disney's really good about making it right. Like if something's, falls apart or is not what you're expecting or whatever, they will definitely get you a new one or get you your money back or, do something like that.
Popcorn buckets. They are an added expense up front, but then you have like $2 refills for the rest of your trip. So I think it's worth it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, unless you're getting, if you want to get specialty ones, I love the specialty ones, so I can't like that person that's going to buy the specialty one. But if you buy like the regular one, I think it's like $15 or something in that range for the bucket. And then it's $2. I think it's $2 or $2.50 for refills. So if you're buying popcorn all throughout the day for that $2.50, instead of going back and spending $10 every time you get a new popcorn that's not a regular, in the popcorn bucket, it totally pays for itself. And my family eats a lot of popcorn. They love popcorn. It's a snack that we all like. So we always get one. We have at least one. Pressed pennies. Those of us that like, I don't know. I don't know if this was like a 80s or 90s thing, but I remember them a lot from when I was a kid. They're still a thing, and they have the machines in a lot of the different gift shops all over Magic Kingdom. Definitely have one in Emporium. They might have one.
There's probably 30 different machines in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, they're everywhere. But now they take cards. So you don't have to worry about bringing quarters. Like you used to, like the tip used to be, make sure you have a roll of quarters so that you can get if you want to do that, or, roll of pennies and a roll of quarters so that you can do the press pennies. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just have a card. They have the penny and they do it for you. And you pick whatever design you want.
I used to save all my shiny pennies just for smash pennies because this is one of my most favorite souvenirs still to this day. And I've passed it on to my children because it's a cheap souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
They have the penny books and all the things. So no need to be collecting. Especially, I'm curious to see how long this stays around since they've stopped making pennies.
That would be sad.
I know. I will revolt. They do have quarters and dimes and nickel ones around, but they're just more expensive.
Just not the same.
The Ye Olde Christmas Shop will personalize things to help make your souvenirs feel special, whether it's writing on a pair of ears, writing on a button. They personalize Christmas ornaments. They have all kinds of things in there. They have like little different packages where you pay for like a word or by the word or the pictures that you add, but they can do that in there. There's also, is it Mad Hatters, that you can get your name embroidered, not just on like the little Mickey hats, but they'll do it on like a sweater or different things if you would
Yeah,
like.
they do a great job. Yeah. And I think they have also have really like the frilly parasols that they'll also personalize for most of the time for little girls. Just to also know, especially if you're the person that has the money and you have people with you that don't have money, but they're going to want things, that pretty much after every ride, there's a shop with things in it that they're going to want. And so just FYI. And you're going to end up with bags of things after a lot of the rides because of that.
Next section is on photos and pictures. I always think Memory Maker is worth it. My kids are obsessed with magic shots. And if you've never heard this term before, the photo pass photographer, they will do something extra to your picture. And sometimes they'll have you, while they're taking the picture, they'll do 3 or 4 pictures. And then they'll say, everybody point here, or everybody look up over your shoulder, or hold your hands out and below, or there's different things. And then after, in the app, it shows up that they've added some pixie dust in some ways. Maybe you're pointing at Figment, or you're looking at Tinkerbell on your hands, or blowing confetti, or making faces at Donald, or something so fun. Every photo pass photographer can do this, and they will do this if you ask. And they're all different depending on where you're at in the park, and different parks kind of related to the area. So if you're in Star Wars land, it's going to be Star Wars related kind of thing.
Yeah. I love PhotoPass. I think it's so worth it. If you're looking for pictures in front of the castle, typically first thing in the morning, if you're doing rope drop and you're there for early entry, if you're able to grab pictures in front of the castle at that point, that's going to be a great shot. And then also after sunset is great because the castle all lit up is always stunning. So that's always a great picture as well.
Ride photos will connect to you automatically if you have your Bluetooth location settings turned on. I feel like it doesn't work as well with my phone or my Magic Mobile on my watch, but if my kids are with me with their Magic Band, it usually always works.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the Magic Band is definitely like almost 100% solid with connecting you to the pictures. If you do have pictures that you realize that they're missing, you can submit that you have a missing photo. And if you have a picture or a description of what everybody was wearing that day, any details that you can provide is going to help them. They'll find it faster. So like what you were wearing, who's in the picture. They're also going to ask you about what time you were on the ride and the day and all of that. So make sure that you're ready to provide all of that information. But I've never had them not find a picture. If I've submitted it and said that I'm missing this picture, they always find them. It might take them a day or two because you have to remember they're looking through like thousands of pictures, even if they're looking at a specific time frame, but they find it. The other thing about your pictures is make sure, I actually made the mistake the first time, our first trip, and thankfully Disney was amazing and they did get my pictures back because I would have cried. I probably would have lost my mind. But you do need to download your pictures within 45 days of your trip. So they're not there forever. Disney can't keep that amount of pictures, the amount of storage that they probably already pay for to hold the pictures that they do has got to be like ginormous. So make sure that you put that on your list, like your post-trip list, that you need to download your pictures before that 45-day mark hits. Okay, so to kind of wrap up, there's a couple of kind of random veteran level things that didn't fit into some of the other areas. Bathrooms that are kind of farther back in whatever the land is that you're in. So, for example, in Fantasyland, Gaston's is kind of hidden to begin with. Like, really, like I don't think people realize that it's there, but it's kind of farther back where where the Beast Castle is, over in that corner of Fantasyland. It has bathrooms back there, and you're not going to have any wait back there. They're basically going to be like deserted for the most part. Cast members, if you're confused, you don't know what you're doing, you feel overwhelmed, or you're trying to find something, you're lost, whatever your question is, all you have to do is stop and ask a cast member. They actually have throughout the park, they have blue umbrellas, or they have little kiosk with blue umbrellas, and that tells you that there's a cast member there for guest services, and they will help you with whatever it is that you need. So they're fantastic. And I think we talked a little bit about the app because we talked about battery life, but you really do need to get a handle on the app before you go. Understand it, understand what it does, what the different areas are of the app. So when you're there, you're not struggling with it, because you are going to use it a lot. It has a lot of information. It has maps, it has wait times, it has food ordering. It has bus wait times. It has the water stations, like those locations. It has a shopping app. It has your photos in it. It has everything in there. It has your hotel information. It has pretty much everything that you need for your trip. It's all in the app. And you really need to have a good hold on it, or a good understanding of what's in it and how to use it.
I think the app is so underutilized too. Like, people don't realize you can change the little screen and see, instead of wait times, you can see where the characters are and what time they're going to be there. And just, I think the transportation to and from, like, I am here and I need to get to this point. How is the best point to get there? And it will tell you to walk or to take a bus, or like the best way. And there are just so many little hidden gems in the app.
Yeah. I mean, it has wayfinding within each of the parks too.
Yes.
And it will tell you how to get to, if you don't know where you are, you're just turned around and you're trying to get to a particular ride, it'll tell you how to get to that ride, which is really nice when you're still getting used to the parks.
So I'm very curious if there are one or two things you wish you would have known on your first trip, what they would be. So send us a DM or send us an email. We're going to do this for all the parks. So we'd love to hear what your silly little tip would be for any of the parks, or even if you have one for Magic Kingdom, we will add it to future episodes, because we love to hear, and we're always learning something new, and hopefully this helps you all.
I think we covered a lot of stuff. So if you guys need to listen to the episode like a couple of times, that's totally fine. We'd be good with that.
Helps our downloads. Or send it to someone you know is leaving, even if they didn't book their trip with us, because we love the shares.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, definitely share. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And thank you for sticking with us. We know that this was a lot. We hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll chat with you all next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wanderlust Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.